We are the Rainbow Company, Limited. We are a privately held corporation with one central purpose. We seek to assist you in the stimulation of your acquired intellectual skills and abilities. We firmly believe that your investment in your education has endowed you with a highly developed mind. Given that you now have an excellent personal tool, we feel that it is now, and only now, something that you should not waste. Each of our products are designed to assist you with the proper maintenance of that invaluable asset. What follows if one of our products? It will speak for itself. We hope that it serves our stated purpose.
Something Different is designed to address some bumps in the road. I mean, over the course of just day-to-day living life, we sometimes hit bumps in the road, things that trouble us, cause us to be stressed, or create serious discord in our households. These problems may be our fault or somebody else's fault. Either way, here I would like to explore some potential bumps in the road. I am doing this in the spirit of family. Over the past 33 years, as a licensed clinical psychologist, I've learned a few things. I want to share some of them with you, free of charge. Simple trade. You give me your 60 minutes of time, your attention, and possible participation as a caller, and let's see if it's worth your time. I will talk about a particular bump for a few minutes. We will open up the phone lines and with live callers further discuss that bump. Claro. I will summarize the topic in the call and say good night. That's how we roll up in here on Something Different with Dr. Ozzie McDonald. Getting to be a live caller on Something Different with Dr. Ozzie McDonald is a multi-part process. First, we have Rebecca. She's a new model Dell with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and she really smokes. She's faster than a speeding bullet. She takes phone calls at a rate of 316,000 every 18 seconds. When you call me, I mean her, she answers the phone, plays a recorded message. You've been entered into the pool of X number of people, she tells you, and may be called back by Dr. McDonald's assessment team to be on today's show. Rebecca hangs up the phone. While Rebecca was doing all that, she collected some information about you from your caller ID. She collected your full name and address, your apartment or home number in whatever city and state. Don't worry, we do not keep emails up in here either. I have instructed Rebecca to randomly choose 16 potential callers and send their names and phone numbers to the assessment team. These are 30 of the brightest and sharpest people I know. Their job is to screen potential callers and arrive at the chosen 12. They are both fantastic and disrespectful to their elders. Then I end up with 12 bingo balls in my bingo shaker, and I shake the shaker and I select one call at a time. That is how we select the chosen 12 callers every week here on Something Different with Dr. Ozzie McDonald. Now, doing the math, if Rebecca collects 318,000 phone calls every 18 seconds, and we have 3 minutes of commercial break while we wait for the callers to call in to Rebecca, let's see now. Let's round up from 18 seconds to 20 seconds, and thereby getting us 3 blocks of 20 seconds every minute, or 9 blocks of 20 seconds. That means 2.8 million phone calls have to be narrowed down by Rebecca to 60 through some kind of random process. So, one person's chances of being a live caller here on Something Different is 12 in 218 million. Just the facts, ma'am. Fair in love and war. For the rest of you who do not have a ghost of a chance of being live callers today, let's play Global Thermonuclear War. Let's play Global Thermonuclear War. Let's play Global Thermonuclear War. No, Hal. Let's play Guessing the Caller's Question. As I present the topic of the day, follow along closely and try to decide what question would you ask me about what I have to say. I mean, did I gloss over something that you think was important? Or did I say something that made you think, like my ex-wife used to say, that's the dumbest idea I ever heard? Whatever. Is there something about the presentation that strikes a note in you? If there is, first thing you need to decide is which caller will ask the question about that. I mean the first, fourth, eighth, or whatever caller, but you must select the caller. If you get both parts correct and have registered your name and answers on my website before the callers came in, and you are the one winner, you will receive $50 via the United States Postal Mail Service from me. No cheating, no cost, just a chance to win some, and take gas money from me to you. No hay problema. Today we're going to continue to look at some uniquely American kinds of craziness. Today we're going to look at racism from a bunch of different angles, from profiling to college life to some other kind of stuff.
First, you may only use your first name and state. You can say what you want to say about the topic. No profanity or stuff like that. Please do not be drunk or high. If you say something out of line, I will cut you off. When you call, the computer will keep your phone number. The computer, will randomly select a predetermined number of potential callers. I wish everybody luck. Those people chosen by the computer will be called back by a member of our staff. They will talk with you and make a final selection and put 12 people on the show. The doctor will talk with those people until either he runs out of time or people.
One more tip. So
You can say what you want to say about the topic. No profanity or stuff like that. Please do not be drunk or high. If you say something out of line, I will cut you off. When you call, the computer will keep your phone number. The computer, will randomly select a predetermined number of potential callers. I wish everybody luck. Those people chosen by the computer will be called back by a member of our staff. They will talk with you and make a final selection and put 12 people on the show. The doctor will talk with those people until either he runs out of time or people.
it's not arbitrary, it's discriminating against simply because of the color of their skin. Now things get more personal. Excuse me. Rachel, an actor, playing a hairdresser who has her eye on a new customer. You ready for But Gabriel has a girlfriend, and when she shows up, it's a rude awakening for Rachel.
Wait, what? You with a black girl?
Yes, my girlfriend.
You couldn't find a strong black woman for you?
If you saw this woman berating an interracial couple, what would you do?
Hey, baby. Hey. You a black girl?
I'm dating a girl who is white yesterday.
Okay. I don't get it, but it's crazy.
Rachel isn't pulling any punches with Christian, and at first, this woman takes the soft, comforting approach.
I'm not going nobody cares about that. But I'm going to have the other children, so I said she sounds like a real freedom, and she's insecure.
And with that, Denise Mowbray is so upset that it's nothing holding her back.
I'm sitting you that blessing please feel. You are ignorant. Keep your opinion to yourself. It sounds stupid. Alright? I'm letting you know. Black girls say other black girls sound stupid. That's really stupid. As you look there as a people, you really want to do it to the next person. What gives you that gun? Why are you calling a white woman that? She wish she could be perfect and become a woman, pretty blood. That's what she is. She's a woman. But maybe you're mad. I'm sorry.
The cops at the end of his dead part. It happens all too often. African Americans, bothered, questioned, even accused of stealing, simply because of the color of their skin. There are very few African American men in this country who have the experience of being followed when they're shot at home store.
First, you may only use your first name and state. You can say what you want to say about the topic. No profanity or stuff like that. Please do not be drunk or high. If you say something out of line, I will cut you off. When you call, the computer will keep your phone number. The computer, will randomly select a predetermined number of potential callers. I wish everybody luck. Those people chosen by the computer will be called back by a member of our staff. They will talk with you and make a final selection and put 12 people on the show. The doctor will talk with those people until either he runs out of time or people.
You are the president. It is your responsibility to do more than just raise money for the university. You're supposed to represent the students that are paying to go to your school.
So let me finish this side, and then I'll get to the other side as well, okay? So if you're wanting a homecoming parade in order to get a reaction, you can't complain about the reaction. Unless you say in the reaction that people shout the N-word or racial, but that's not, as far as I can know, that's not the charge, okay? Then they surrounded Tom Wolf's car, and you reacted poorly to that. On the other hand, if your car was surrounded, I'm not sure how you would react either, right? And again, it was a peaceful protest, so there's no sign of violence or intimidation, but as being surrounded, I can see how you would be feel uncomfortable about that. But even Tom Wolf, the guy who stepped down, says he handled it poorly, and he said, well, had I gotten out of the car to acknowledge the students and talk with them, perhaps we wouldn't be where we are today.
Well, earlier this week, a group of black supremacists managed to initiate a coup d'etat at the University of Missouri, where they managed to force two white people at the university, the president and the chancellor, to resign over supposed racial hate crimes against black people that supposedly took place at the university. One guy claimed that somebody drove by in a truck and shouted that word nigger at him. A black man claimed this. Somebody else claimed that there was a swastika made out of feces left on the bathroom floor. Someone spelled out a swastika, I guess. But no one took a picture of it because, yeah, when you see a swastika on the floor made out of feces and you're offended by it, you don't take a picture of it and post it to Twitter. No, you just talk about it. A lot of random accusations which are highly questionable, especially when you consider that earlier this year at the University of Delaware, the remains of tree lanterns were mistaken for nooses. That's right. At a separate university earlier this year, somebody saw these left in a tree. Some black people saw these left in a tree, black students at the University of Delaware, and they thought that they were nooses and proof of a racial hate crime. Turns out these are just the leftover strings that hold up these lanterns commonly used at parties. Of course, they didn't stop a huge mob of Black Lives Matter activists from protesting and screaming and crying of racism. The reason I bring up this separate incident is because it shows how these professional victims are looking for racism around every corner.
First, you may only use your first name and state. You can say what you want to say about the topic. No profanity or stuff like that. Please do not be drunk or high. If you say something out of line, I will cut you off. When you call, the computer will keep your phone number. The computer, will randomly select a predetermined number of potential callers. I wish everybody luck. Those people chosen by the computer will be called back by a member of our staff. They will talk with you and make a final selection and put 12 people on the show. The doctor will talk with those people until either he runs out of time or people.
Students get together and want to take action on the reason they saw their parents. Now, we told the story yesterday, give you all the details. A bunch of people are yelling and words at students as they're going along in their lives. They feel intimidated by that, and they feel discouraged by that. I mean, they work hard, you get into a college, and you feel a little, so 7% of the student body there is black, and people keep coming and throwing the N-word in your face, no matter what you do, right? You can see how that would be discouraging, right? So they wanted to fight back on this, and they wanted the administration to help. Now, we can argue about the different ways that the administration might be able to do something to help protect some of their students. But the administration didn't take any action, so eventually the students got tired of it and said, if you don't take any action, well, then you should go, because obviously you're not here to look out for us. So they asked for a resignation of President Fillmore. One of the students did an 8-day hunger strike, and finally, of course, it only got the intended result when the Missouri football team and over 30 black football players said, we're not going to play football anymore until he resigns. But whoa, football! Now it's important. Before the kid who was on a hunger strike, he's black eating. Now he's dies, he's hungry, who cares? Football, oh my God, all right, now he's got to resign, and he does. President Fillmore resigns. So, of course, what happens? Outrage all over TV. Scarborough goes on MSNBC, says, you know why this guy got fired? Nobody can figure it out. No, I can figure it out, because he kept saying he was going to do something, and he didn't do anything about the constant harassment of his students that he's supposed to be looking out for. That's your answer. Okay, it's not that complicated. Right? So now we go to Fox News, where it's only going to get worse. And what does Fox News do? Classic trick. They're going to bring in Kevin Jackson. He's an African-American guy. They're going to see Lisa Denton, African-American woman you're going to see, is on the right side. She says, hey, look, there's a racial split. There's also a swastika that they etched out of feces. Disgusting, wrong, anti-Semitic. And Denton, Jackson, as you'll see, is like, who cares? Okay, anyway, now here comes the debate.
Oh, I think it's ridiculous that they would even consider resigning. Look, Megan, we had Donald Sterling, who had a private conversation exposed that he lost his team. We had Paula Dee, who 30 years ago maybe used the N-word at some point. And today, we have people who did nothing, who lost their jobs. If this is something that America wants to face, the idea that you could be the CEO of a company, somebody at your company could say something off-color, pardon the pun, to somebody black, and they're going to throw a connection, then who wants to leave? And the second part of it is, when we look at black unemployment, just being blunt, who wants to hire people that every time there's any racial insensitivity of any sort, it doesn't have to be real, they're going to be losing their jobs.
First, you may only use your first name and state. You can say what you want to say about the topic. No profanity or stuff like that. Please do not be drunk or high. If you say something out of line, I will cut you off. When you call, the computer will keep your phone number. The computer, will randomly select a predetermined number of potential callers. I wish everybody luck. Those people chosen by the computer will be called back by a member of our staff. They will talk with you and make a final selection and put 12 people on the show. The doctor will talk with those people until either he runs out of time or people.
I care about all people. So when you hurt people, Jews, women, black, kids, you hurt everybody. So excuse me if I can't hurt you.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Who got hurt? Nobody got hurt.
Yeah, he gets called racist slurs. One case, a bunch of guys in a pickup truck come and intimidate you. And I'm going to start using the word so it's surreal for you, okay? And the guy who was a student body president, by the way, and he capitalized it. So guys come in a pickup truck and they yell at the students, hey, nigger, okay?
Republican presidential candidate who used to be a Washington lobbyist. Ann Coulter staked out a position on the Herman Cain sexual harassment controversy that she couldn't even find support for on Fox News.
So you're saying, so Politico would not have written the story if Herman Cain were white?
I think they would have to. Yes, I think they would have to.
That's just the most
Seriously? Okay, try telling this guy that the Washington press corps would not go after a white man in a sex scandal. Rush Limbaugh's spirited, non-factual defense of Herman Cain today included this. This is a full right from the Time magazine contributor, and I guess he works at MSNBC Today, about the Republican primary and Herman Cain. And Lawrence O'Donnell, the host of the show, said, "Today, there's just this blender of Republican racial politics has gotten mixed up together. I can't make any sense of it. Guide us through this."
Well, one thing I see, you saw Rush Limbaugh talking about, we see who the real racists are, and Clarence Thomas is using that same sort of bazooka to fire back.
First, you may only use your first name and state. You can say what you want to say about the topic. No profanity or stuff like that. Please do not be drunk or high. If you say something out of line, I will cut you off. When you call, the computer will keep your phone number. The computer, will randomly select a predetermined number of potential callers. I wish everybody luck. Those people chosen by the computer will be called back by a member of our staff. They will talk with you and make a final selection and put 12 people on the show. The doctor will talk with those people until either he runs out of time or people.
Is that when we point out moments of racism or moments of minstrelsy in Herman Cain's example, they just fire back and they just use the word racism. That's racist. You're racist. So it becomes this sort of negating tool that we'll just say racism wherever we see any racial politics taking place. We'll say the race card is being played anytime somebody points out a moment of racism, and that just sort of muddles the conversation to where a lot of people are like, I don't want to be part of this at all.
Rush cut what Touré had to say right there, but Touré had a lot more to say.
But I think that Cain, interestingly, does not exist without Obama preceding it. He sort of rights the ship in a lot of people's minds, or rights the scales, because Obama is alpha. He is brilliant. He's a man that you had to take seriously. He's a constitutional law professor that you had to take seriously when he spoke. Cain sort of reasserts the scales the way people want it to be in a lot of ways. He's charismatic, but he's a lightweight. His ideas are not serious. They're not well thought out. There's this constant minstrelsy aspect that he keeps bringing up. This is not something that we're just making up out of whole cloth. He's the one who says he wants the Secret Service to call him cornbread. He's the one who says things like, oh, shucky ducky when he starts. And yet Cain allows the GOP to have this sort of force where it's like, well, we're not racist. We're supporting this black man. Even at the same time that he sort of reasserts this myth of black docility and this sort of self-abnegation and like, you don't have to take us seriously sort of thing that Obama threw completely out of whack, but you had to take him dead seriously.
And now here's Rush's interpretation of what Touré said. What he was trying to say is, they are stealing our technique.
First, you may only use your first name and state. You can say what you want to say about the topic. No profanity or stuff like that. Please do not be drunk or high. If you say something out of line, I will cut you off. When you call, the computer will keep your phone number. The computer, will randomly select a predetermined number of potential callers. I wish everybody luck. Those people chosen by the computer will be called back by a member of our staff. They will talk with you and make a final selection and put 12 people on the show. The doctor will talk with those people until either he runs out of time or people.
They're stealing our technique, and they're muddying the waters by using our technique. We're the ones who have exclusive right to the race card. We are the ones who get to decide who's racist and who isn't. When guys like Limbaugh come along and call us racists, why, that just muddies the water and makes everybody want to forget all this and leave.
Ann Coulter appeared on Hannity Monday night to talk about race relations. The Fox News segment began with a clip of Michelle Obama's recent commencement speech at Tuskegee University, a place with its own history of advances and setbacks in racial equality, which she spoke about her own experiences with racism. Coulter quickly reassured host Sean Hannity she was there to relay the black perspective on this whole thing. Seriously, you can't make this st up. She's just letting out her reverend right now, the conservative personality insisted, referencing the Obamas' controversial former pastor. Last week she was claiming museums discriminate against, aren't welcoming to minorities. What do they have to do? Be even freer? What are museums doing? Coulter went on to insist that racism was basically solved until President Barack Obama was elected. We had finally gotten rid of a lot of this racial demagoguery in response to the O.J. Simpson verdict, and Obama and his enablers and the left-wing media have brought it back in order to gin up and keep a certain segment of the black community angry and voting against Republicans, she said. But I think they've opened up a beast they are not going to be able to control.
Well, there you have it. I suppose one might conclude that racial relations in America in 2015 are just hunky-dory. Interesting. Well, if you are playing guess the question of the caller, your time is up, because we will open up the phone line for live callers in 876-5432.